Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Conan Horus here with another episode of Challenge Quest. It's been about 2 weeks, and what a busy 2 weeks it's been. it's, well, anyway. So, new challenge is up. This challenge is to go on an adventure and try to find treasure. The treasure that we are looking for is defined by books. Anyway, let's read the instructions. Not look in the chest. To the moon. Wait, what? Everybody will begin. Anyway, I'm just going to voice over. That's what I'm doing now. Yeah. If you really want to read it, you can stop and read. Anyway, the point is that we're supposed to go through with only one inventory and get everything that we possibly can, get all these treasures that are marked and set up for us to gather. And we can only go through once. So, I take it that means if I die, it's all over. So I come out here to the quad and I'm ready to go. Click that button. And then I, of course, am teleported into the ground. So as a community service project, I decide to take out this block because other people are going to get stuck in there as well. And ultimately, I decide to just chuck it somewhere. It's a really annoying bug that we have sometimes. I don't know if that bug is because of the block, since it's not a full, 1 meter tall block, or if that's a bug with the teleportation coordinates. Anyway, jump cut there. I was just walking over here to my little house. I press the button, and we're ready to go. Alright, so the first treasure should be in here somewhere. Find a clue hidden in the village. And then I think I do a cut here. No, never mind. So I decided to take a look from this vantage point, and I can already see 2 books on the houses. Or, no, sorry, 1 book on the house. And so that, of course, is my first goal. And I hop down and just go over there. Anyway, yeah, the last 2 weeks I've been really working hard on the Ruins game. Been finishing up finals at school, and then the week off from finals, between semesters at school, I spent a lot of time working, getting lots of extra money, and of course working on the Ruins game, which, it's really taken a lot out of me. It's been a very rough 2 weeks. Anyway, I didn't pack anything with me to pillar up, so I decided to take some dirt from nearby. There are trees in the village too. Try looking in those. All right, I'll look in the trees nearby. And this wasn't too hard to find, actually. I mean, there's very few trees in the village, and once you get there, you just start looking around. Anyway, time to clear up my inventory, and I do that a lot in this run. Yeah, that book is done. I don't need it anymore. And, since I can't do this run a second time, there's no point in keeping the book once it's done. So this tells me where to go to dig and find some treasure, then the next teleporter. And I have this up for way too long. I mean, seriously, if you want to read it, you can pause. I don't know why I thought it was necessary to have it open. I think I was reading it really slow as well. And then for my own reference, because it didn't go into my brain when I read it aloud. Okay, so yeah, most of this was done with the F3 screen up. Anyway, I started digging in the wrong location, figured it out pretty quickly, and then stopped and came back. So here's some cobwebs, and in Minecraft, cobwebs are like liquid gold. They are definitely worth something, and they are worth something to me. Anyway, now it's time to travel to the coordinates, and this takes a very long time, and it's just F3 all the time. Anyway, about maybe 15 minutes later, I get to this temple. I of course, go through and do things with my inventory, and I'm trying to figure out how to get down without hurting myself, and then I figure out, oh, I could just, use this pillar that's already there and dig down there. Then I want to peek down here, but I decided against it because the block could fall and trigger some TNT. I'm not sure if the TNT is still there, but knowing Fate, it probably is. He is not below killing people for fun. So, just got to make sure that I'm doing things all nice and safe. There might be a better way of going down this shaft, but if there is, I don't know it. I was thinking about getting the book from there, but then, it might trigger the TNT. I'm very conscientious about that. Come here, get the book, and read it aloud to the audience, not realizing at this point, or not having decided at this point that I was just going to do a voiceover. And of course, the book is on screen for much too long as I read it aloud. By the way, I didn't really read these numbers. It was more of just a blah 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 voice, just going over it. I was not interested in reading those numbers. They're big numbers. I mean, 27, okay, cool, I can read that and keep it in my memory. But something that's more than 3 digits, I just kind of gloss over. My eyes start to glaze, and I don't put any effort into reading it. So I decide what treasure to keep and what treasure to dump, or to leave, rather. Definitely want to take the emeralds. No reason leaving those behind. I figured that the iron horse armor wasn't worth it, and then having 2 diamond, since I have a very limited inventory space, according to the rules, only 1 is sufficient. And I might end up dropping it later on. I can't take the TNT because it's not, in my biome. I can't find it naturally there, so no good on that. Anyway, going back, reading through the book again. Man, I should have really thought about cutting these out some more. Which, it's fine. I'm not going to go back. I've already started recording my voiceover. It's late at night, and I don't want to go through that whole process. So anyway, of course, I pillar up, and then pillar up some more to get out of here. I don't know why I specifically chose to rebuild the pillar. That's a little bit unnecessary. So I go to find this treasure location, and unbeknownst to me, it could have been... I could have been more efficient about how I did this. I could have just stayed inside of the temple, but I figured Fate had buried it somewhere out there. Anyway, time to dig down and think about the existential dread of playing a game where I can always lose. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on at this point. It's just... yeah. I was so confused. I thought maybe I was in the wrong location. And then I thought, oh, knowing Fate, it's probably here. And lo and behold, it is. So I take that. Bottle of Enchanting. And then I don't use it now. I was going to, but I don't use it because just in case I do survive until the end, I will be able to use it to go up to maybe level 12, maybe level 13, depending on what level I am at the end of this. My computer was stuttering there for a second. Anyway, he taunts me, where am I going to look? I decide to go downstairs because that's where treasure always is in these temples. And I was going to play with those, but I figured, there's a box, or there's a chest over here that I can access easily. I just need to deactivate some of these tripwires, and I don't want to have arrows flying into my face. Like that. So there's an enchanted book and some emeralds. My inventory is getting cluttered, and so I try to figure out what I'm going to do. Yeah, I thought about taking those arrows, but then, I saw that they were not the generic arrows, so I just left them. And thinking back on it now, I don't know if I would have been able to take it. My reasoning for being able to take normal arrows is, skeletons do spawn in my location, in my biome at home. So, I do have arrows available, but they're not available in a chest. So I don't think that they work that way. Anyway, I trying to figure out how this whole system works, and it's been a long time since I've activated one of these temples, explored it, so I didn't really remember how everything worked. Um, anyway, grab that enchanted book. That's quite nice. Gotta throw away the clue at this point, I think. Yeah, because I have the new one. This new clue will give me the location that I'm supposed to go to. So he tells me where to dig and then where to run to go to my next location. And again, it's up for far too long. Very boring. Anyway, time to pillar up and go. I decided to really speed this up because I spent a lot of time deliberating, going in the wrong direction, and then I had a problem with the computer. It lost focus on the game, which caused the game to crash. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think it had something to do with the interaction of my recording software and the game caused some sort of crash when it lost focus. So more organizing of the inventory. Again, I could have just sped over this. Later on, I think I got tired of editing, and so I just started speeding over everything. So we won't have to worry about this too much more. More organizing of the inventory, and then deciding that it's time to leave. And this takes another 15 minutes or so to walk over here into the swamp. And eventually I discover what I'm looking for, a witch's hut. It takes me a while, but I get here. And I think to myself, I could go in there and try to break open that door, but what I'm going to do instead is get my bow out and just snipe her through the window, because I don't want to have to fight. That's just not something that I'm interested in. I don't like dying from witches. And I figure, maybe she can't attack me through the window. It turns out I was right. Maybe I was wrong, but in this situation, she chose not to attack me through the window. I don't know if she's able to, and I could do some testing, but I don't feel it. It's like I say, it's late at night. If it was during midday, I would probably load up a new empty world, put up a whole bunch of witches, and run around with various setups of windows and see if the witch can see me. So there's no buttons here or levers or anything, so I just tear down the door like the police. Police! There was a homicide that I caused. Anyway, I was a little bit upset that there was another book rather than a treasure, because that means more of this geocaching. And geocaching in real life, that's awesome, that's fun, that's cool. But in Minecraft, geocaching just gets really tedious really fast. And by this point, I was really feeling it. And from what I understand, this is only halfway through. I've already been playing for like an hour, and I'm only halfway through. Anyway, I get more books, and all these books are, not clues. They're called a clue with a question mark, and then it's not a clue. This is the first real clue that I get, and it tells me that I need to go into this location over here and get the thing that is not my friend. So I figured that out pretty quickly. It's the one thing that's not Steve. So I grab him and look around. It's kind of creepy, like really creepy for me. Anyway, I have a location to go to, and again another 15-minute walk. Well, maybe this one took a little bit longer. It was a bit long. Anyway, I get over here and I get a good vantage point, and I see that there are two item frames on the tops of spikes, and so I grab the first one, which is a book. I thought they were both books, and so I just went for the one that was closest to me. But then this references the other one, so it turns out that I got the right one first, and the other one was the treasure, and I could have just gone straight for it without reading the book. which, whatever. And so I go and I get the treasure. Of course, I just pillar up and grab it after running out of materials. And this is just a creeper head, which is nice. It could decorate, a wall in my home. It'd be nice under like some sort of bear rug or something, or maybe even as part of a creeper rug. People make bear rugs. Why not a creeper rug? I might do that actually. Anyway, looking for the next book, found it. To find the treasure in this location, start where you beamed in, and then it tells me to go a certain number of paces, but it does it in a riddle. So I try to figure out the paces while going over this rough terrain. And I decide on a spot to start digging, and then let's see, there we are. I start digging here. I had to make a new pick because... No, I decided not to make a pick because I saw the wood one, but then it was going too slow. I was digging way too deep for it to be practical, so I made the stone pick. And it takes me a long while to figure out that I'm in the wrong location. And so I go back to the start and I recount my steps, and it's annoying. Turns out I was just one block off, and instead of digging down, I should have been digging up. So yeah, it's right there. It's a notch apple. And I grab it, I'm happy, and everybody rejoices. Yay! Now I have another location to go to. So I dig through and I look for the location, talk to Fate a little bit, and I go in the wrong direction. Yes, it took about a half hour. I was going in the wrong direction, and then I realized I need to go across water. Well, I don't have any wood, and I'm like, well, I'm in an area where I have, these naturally forming, what are they called? Abandoned mine shafts, and they have wood in them. So I grabbed those, and then, 15 minutes on the water, even after building the boat. So I get over here to my next location, which is inside one of these strongholds, and of course the first thing to do is get rid of that spawner. I don't want to be killed. Then I'm told to look for a clue. Again, all of these not clues are strewn about, and it takes me a good 10 to 15 minutes before I find the actual clue. Spoiler alert, it was in the library. But yeah, it took me forever to find that library. But once I saw it, I immediately realized it was going to be in there. And so I started looking around for where it could be. Ah, yes, a chest. Totally where it's going to be. I read. And then he even references that the best place for the book is in the library, in the book. So then I go and try to find out where the exit is. And I go down here to some lava, and I close it off and discover this grate. So I of course go for it and hop down, where I find a block of diamond. Very exciting. But I need to clear up my inventory a little bit. I don't know why I didn't speed through that part. Inventory cleaning is so boring. Anyway, an even more obscene amount of time later, this was a literal hour that was cut. I was searching for the exit when I was supposed to be searching for a button. Yeah, it was a disaster. Anyway, I come to this mine shaft, and I start going around, and I get lost. Well, I don't get lost, but these clues aren't leading me anywhere that I'm supposed to go. So I keep going back and forth between the clues, trying to find the path I'm supposed to take, until I finally decide to follow my ears, and I hear a lot of monsters behind one of these walls. Let's see, when did I figure that out? Right here, yes. I hear all these monsters. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can kill this zombie. There's going to be a zombie, what is it called, spawner? But then there's also a spider spawner. And so this is a little bit unfair. So I figure that I'm going to clear out all these cobwebs so that I can move quickly. I'll take out the spider spawner first, so I have a fighting chance. So the first task is to clear out as many of these spider webs as I can to knock out that spawner. I can handle zombies, but spiders, especially when they poison me, are no bueno. Well, they all gang up on me and get the upper hand. I try to retreat, but ultimately it's a no bueno situation for me. And yeah, they just hound me, just gang up. Look at this, 3 at a time, and I'm a goner. Yeah.